Hello, Sye here. I wanted to share with you how to eat like a king on a budget, how to eat unbelievably healthy on a budget, how to eat an amazing vegan diet on a budget. Now, I know that if you're watching this video, it doesn't mean that you're vegan, but I happen to eat a vegan diet, so if you are looking for advice on how to eat vegan, then you're going to really like this video. But for anybody, this video is going to be helpful in decreasing the amount of money you spend on food and helping you to get the most for your money. So, luckily, we live in a time when there's lots of great organic food available, and it's really, in most places, there's a lot of good competition going on. So there are lots of deals out there and there are lots of sales. So what I like to do is spread my buying habits across a few different stores and maybe several stores over time, and even some online shopping for food. But what it's really about is finding out what it is that you are going to be eating as your staples. Now, for anybody to save money on food, meat or animal flesh is one of the most expensive things. So if you eliminate that from your diet, or at least cut it back for people who aren't going to eliminate it, you're going to greatly decrease the amount of money that you spend on energy or from food. So that's one good thing to do. But let's just get straight into what you can do that is going to be the most helpful. So if you're just looking to go straight out the least expensive food that you can buy, the first thing you want to do is start eating more potatoes, eat more rice, and you can go brown or white rice, and eat more things like steel-cut oats, and those are just a few. Eat more quinoa. These are a few of the non-gluten foods. Not that you really have to worry too much about that, but since there's a big craze really about being gluten-free, then none of the foods that I mentioned have gluten in them. So you can eat those foods and not worry about gluten sensitivity. But also lots of legumes or beans. Now, chickpeas, which are garbanzo beans, lentils, kidney beans, pinto beans, these can all be purchased for relatively inexpensive. And if you buy them in bulk, you're going to get even a better deal. So you're going to want to search around wherever you live at and find out what the best deals are for those things. And there are a number of different places where you can find really amazing deals. But once you know you're going to be eating these things, you'll want to look at the places where you shop and just check the prices, see what their standard prices are. And you're going to find that some places are substantially less than other places. Another thing to remember too is to buy bulk, or buy more even in bulk when it is available for inexpensive. So if you are noticing that there is a great deal on something, then stock up on that item, especially if it's a semi-non-perishable item like rice or beans. Buy a lot of it when it's a good deal and store it in plastic bins or something that is going to keep it nice and fresh over time. And that is going to help you to save a lot of money over time. Now, potatoes can be really inexpensive, especially white potatoes and red potatoes I've found. And the key is when I say white potatoes, I'm talking about russet potatoes. But I would go organic, but just look for the deals. There's always good deals on potatoes somewhere. And when there's not good deals, I kind of cut back on the potato consumption, which brings up another point, is that in the season when the food is the most plentiful, those particular items are going to be the least expensive. So when you start to see things rise and the prices go up really high, just know that you maybe aren't going to be eating those things so much during that time, because they're going to get less expensive later and you can eat more of those and get more nutrients from those sources later. So that's two basic good tips so far to eat when it's to eat the foods when they are in season or when they are more plentiful, when the harvest has an abundance because of the time of the year. And there's you're going to notice that there are different cycles for different foods when they are the most abundant. So purchase those foods during that time. You'll get them for less. And then with rice, you can get organic brown and white rice for really inexpensive if you search around. Can make unbelievable amount of meals from those things as your base, and you get plenty of carbohydrates from them. Eat lots of bananas. Bananas are a good fruit with lots of nutrients in them, and they're one of the fruits that is currently the least expensive fruit, and I recommend going organic. You can get good organic bananas for a very inexpensive cost. In most places in the United States, you'll just want to search out the stores again that are in your area and find out which ones have the best deals. And if you're feeding a family, then you would want to go ahead and grab a whole box of those on occasion, maybe once a week, like we do, where you get 40 pounds. In that way, you can sometimes pick up a deal. You just have to ask the produce managers or store manager, depending on where you're at, and find out. So that brings up another good tip is don't be afraid to ask the local vendors what kind of deals they can offer you for ordering certain things in bulk or for regularly ordering those kinds of foods. So we've got a good base. You're going to want to get some greens in your diet just to stay healthy. So there are a number of ways to get good greens for relatively inexpensive, but again, it involves you looking at the different stores that you're going to and seeing which ones have the best deals, and kind of make a certain green your staple for a while, another green your staple for a while, or you can alternate them, but based upon price. Look for what is the least expensive regularly that is high nutrient. I like parsley. It's one of the good ones you can get for relatively inexpensive, and it's very nutrient dense, and it's almost all good. In most foods you can find some negative. Parsley is one of those foods that is, for the most part, all good. So you'll want to get some greens in your diet, and obviously you're going to want to get some onions. They have some good amino acids in them, and it's always good to consider things like frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables can be relatively inexpensive, and I always go organic on those, and you can get them for very inexpensive. Again, it's about checking out the frozen sections in your different stores. You're going to find some stores have very inexpensive frozen foods. So buy those, and then when those things go on sale, stock up on them and put them in your freezer. So those are some very good tips for making the most of your shopping experience, eating like a king, but still keeping the costs down. You're going to find that the number of other foods that you want to include in your diet that are kind of your staples or the things you need, like salt, those things are all going to be relatively inexpensive, just using the same principles as I've outlined for these other foods that are some good staples to have on hand. You're going to be able to find other foods in the same way. Now, some people might be concerned, like, I don't want to go coupon shopping, and this is not about coupon shopping. It's always good to take advantage of a coupon if you find them easy, and I'm not against that. But what I'm talking about is just knowing the area that you live in, knowing your grocery stores. It doesn't take very long to figure out what stores have the best prices, and it doesn't mean that you go and you have to go shopping at every store each time that you go shopping. It just means that when you're in the area of the store that has the things that you want, you go to that store, you pick up all the items from there, and you take those home, you have those on hand, and then the next time that you're out and about, you go to another store that you know has all of those other items that are the best deals at that store for you to get. So I hope this helped, whether you're vegan or not. You want to be rich, you got to be healthy. So I say go out and do the best you can to find the best food you can. And if this video was helpful to you, let me know, and give it a thumbs up and share your comments somewhere around this video. Thanks for watching.